Hey guys, Coach Ryan here, and we're going to start out our video series by going over some basics of Beyond the Whiteboard to make sure that you are getting the most out of this piece of software that is provided to you with your Hybrid Farm membership. So first off, I'm going to go to the Sign In tab here and I got my credentials in. It's typically going to be your email name and then a password that you'll set up when you get your invite. If you haven't got your email invite yet, I do see when I check it out that there's 10 or 20 of them hanging out there. Double check your spam filters for anything from Beyond the Whiteboard, or talk to a coach and we can see about resending that to you. But typically that is sent shortly after you sign up for a Hybrid Farm membership. All right, we are getting logged in, and this is what we consider the whiteboard, and it's got, I usually have a 2 week view on it. You can adjust that to be monthly, daily, etc. And you guys are getting a little peek ahead of what's coming this weekend if you're watching this video. There are multiple tracks, as you'll see here, and we'll get into those more in a future video, but most of you guys should have the CrossFit Rice Lake WODs showing. Now, for setup, you're going to have an icon in the top right. This other one is just for administrators, but the top right, we're going to scroll down to Edit Settings, and we're going to click on that in the drop-down menu, and you'll see Preferences, Sync, Privacy, and Measurements. One of the really cool things about using Beyond the Whiteboard to track your progress in CrossFit is it doesn't just measure how many sets and reps you do, but it actually calculates your power output, which is kind of really at the heart of what separates CrossFit from other fitness programs. It measures how much work you can get done in how little time, and that can be measured objectively. Now, to get really good tracking of that information, you need to put your measurements in. So when you go to this measurements piece, you can actually put in the distance from your squat right to the ground. So you use your squat low height, that'd be the bottom of your squat high height, shoulder height, overhead height. This would be like with a bar extended overhead, and a deadlift height. You're going to need a buddy to help you do these and set these up. And you don't necessarily need a barbell. You could do this with a broomstick just as easily. But the more accurate you can get those, the more accurately Beyond the Whiteboard is going to be able to figure out how much work you're getting done in your workouts and give you some really good feedback on that. Now, when you save that, you also have the option to save some other information, right? And I want to do a weigh-in because part of the workout power output is what is my body weight. If I'm doing squats, pull-ups, sit-ups, running, my body weight, as you guys have learned, makes a huge impact, especially on those gymnastics movements. So I'm going to hit weigh-in, and I'm going to do new weigh-in. I can do that as a post, by the way, too, using the search box. And from there, I'm going to make sure I've got my height in there accurately. I'm going to have my most recent weight in here. I'm going to have my neck circumference. It's a little bit different for ladies. By the way, you will want to set up, male, female, etc. in here. We'll show you how to get at that. But having that set accurately does change slightly which pieces from this list on the right that you're going to need. I'm going to have my waist in there, and you could even add progress photos. Now, from there, when I hit save, the data automatically starts to work into my equations of power output in the workouts. The other thing you'll notice is it actually calculates how my weight is done since I started almost 6 years ago, right? It's tracked my body fat percentage and lean mass gain or loss. And you can kind of look at the ups and downs over the years of this, and you can even scroll back and look at all your other measurements. Now, I've been using Beyond the Whiteboard for about 6 years, so I've got quite a bit of data, and it's a great way to kind of look at how things have changed as I've gotten stronger, increased or decreased workout times, etc. All right, let's take a look over here in the preferences, see if there's anything else we want to get added. We'll go to Edit Profile. Here's where you can make sure you've got your date of birth in there. You do want to enter that, by the way, because for some of the comparisons that Beyond the Whiteboard can show you, it can show you how you did on a workout compared to other people in your age category, which is kind of cool, and it's, for me, more interesting to see than how I did against some 20-year-old college student that is in their peak of their physical performance. Also gender, that's going to be important to make sure you're sorted into the right data sets there to see how you're doing versus other females or other males. You can even enter a photo. There's me smashing my head through some bricks years ago. I don't recommend that. Address, that's up to you. Now, you can change gym association here, but remember, if you are in through CrossFit Rice Lake, right, don't search the hybrid farm, search CrossFit Rice Lake. We cover this membership for all of our members. All right, guys, that's just some basics on getting set up in Beyond the Whiteboard. Make sure you fill out all of those pieces in the edit settings, right? And then it pulls up preferences. One last thing before we go, privacy. I know some people love to share everything with the world. Some people like to be a little bit more private. If you go into these privacy settings, you're going to have individual things to select for each of these different pieces. So some people, as we recommend, will share their workouts at least with their gym, but maybe they don't want their weigh-ins and food journal and all that shared. You can adjust that, guys. That's all based on your individual preferences. There you go, guys. That's how to set up your Beyond the Whiteboard. Get in there, get set up. If you're not using this, you're leaving a huge feature and benefit of the Hybrid Farm membership on the table. So let's get after it. Have a good one.